Yeah, we'll stick with my host for now because I'm pretty confident my connection is good. I think it might be just something Tower's a problem. A problem that Tower's having, which unfortunately sometimes happens with Russian players. So let me just double check that score. 7-6. Okay, thank you, Tao. Yeah, so I had it right. I was just making sure. All right, Pekala. Let's actually, I think we got to skip Pekala, right? Because he was in a meeting. Let me double check. Few skips, yeah. So 30 minutes from when 11:10. All right. So yell at me, Pekala, if you want to fight right now. But otherwise, we're gonna skip your fight, and we're gonna actually we should do Chesses versus Glorious too. So let's do that. That works out just fine. Can't hear me here. Oh, is Discord being stupid too? All right, let's try this again. I will say, by the way, the bars here, it's looking like it's on 4. So even Tao, by the way, if you could at least give it a second chance, I'd appreciate it. Maybe my internet was just doing some kind of, I don't know what happened, but it looks fine now. And Parsec, you guys didn't see it, but Parsec was perfectly smooth, which is usually an indicator that it's not my ISP. But if Tao is still having problems, it could just be Russia between Russia and Canada. We can always use Plebeian's host. I don't mind that. And Plebeian's host is great for me, so it makes no difference. Okay, if my link will... Did I not copy it? There we go. Yeah, that'd be helpful, just in case. Um, so Pekla would normally fight twice, but it looks like he'll be away for a bit longer. And I'll just tell Pekla to ping me when he's good to go. But we'll do fights with everybody we know is here in the meantime. Glorious, I think you need keyboard, so let me know. Yeah, you need keyboard, I remember. Chessus, I don't think he needs it, so. Alright, Chessus on the left. And Glorious on the right. New stream link. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, hang on. But yes, just as Plebeian says, I am live again and everything's smooth, so definitely come onto the stream, give it a like, you know, the rest. Not that I care that much about popularity, but still, it helps. And I won't announce it, but I'll post it in the announcements as well. I don't want to ping everybody. What's wrong, Glorious? You just left out of nowhere. Reconnecting? Okay. Yeah. If it's saying that it's not the video is not recording or something, that's just because I'm clicked off. Okay, as I said, Chessus on the left, Glorious on the right. And the reason you don't see anything when I'm clicked off is just because I have most apps disabled. on Parsec, just because there's no need to enable them. Obviously, people on stream can see everything, but... Okay, Chessus, left, Glorious, right. Wait, I might need to give you a keyboard again. Alright, you can try now. Beautiful. And as always, guys, just let me know if something's wrong. You can pause. You don't have to fight through it. If it's particularly bad. Alex is a good pick against Zera. I wasn't going to give Chess's tips, but now that he's made that selection, I think this is a really good pick. He's probably experimented with this exact matchup in sparring. He has played a lot of sabers. Looks like they're good to go. Feeling each other out a little bit first. Blocks with low guard, actually. And that back Y wins the trade. Not surprising there, actually. Alex is very good at winning trades. Doesn't much matter which character it is. Tarna might be the one exception, and I'm sure Laszlo, under many circumstances, is also an exception. You know, characters like that actually breaks through the weak of the blade there and hits Zera in the head for the combo. Alex is very good at doing that, just finding those angles that you struggle to block. The jump gets through. Was Glorious trying something there, I wonder? He also moved into it, but I don't think it usually lands under that circumstance unless you're doing something. I like what Chessus is doing. He is being aggressive, but he's doing a calm before the storm approach. So he backs off and gives the opponent a bit of space, but then out of nowhere he charges right in. Yeah, I'm glad it's going well for everyone else so far. Just Tau and Russia or something. So Oak, just a warning to you if, well, you know the drill. If lag starts kicking in for some reason, we can always do Steam or whatever we need. Tough matchup. Yeah, I will say though, Glorious is managing to make it pretty tough. Making a bit of a comeback. But that upcut actually shields Alex's head. I'm kind of surprised by that, but yeah, it covers a big arc, so it does defend the head, and it aims right for Zera's hand, so he's actually pretty vulnerable to it. That is something about longsword characters, is they're a bit easier to... It's a bit easier to target their hands. Especially Zera, I think. Isabella a bit less so, but Zera you can especially target his hand, and if he tries anything, it's pretty likely you'll hit. And even if he doesn't try anything, there's times where you'll land. Oh, pause there. Probably a leg spike. Let's just back off and long guard when you're good. Yep, beautiful. Alright, Zera is limping, which isn't good against an Alex, who has the mobility advantage to begin with, but now it's even worse. Chessus is taking his time, though. He's not rushing it. You really shouldn't, because Zera can still slip a thrust in out of nowhere. Goes low there. Gets blocked. Zera's able to block low. Sidesteps the thrust, and that results in a hit to the left arm or left shoulder, and it allows Alex to win that trade. Yeah, when he's injured like that, it's not good news. As a plebeian said there. But GG, guys, that was a good fight. Despite the matchup, Glorious put up an excellent fight there, I would say, overall. Let's do... So, Glorious, actually, you're going to be fighting again, and you'll fight Tau. Because to my knowledge, Pekla is not around yet. Yeah, I know you weren't expecting to fight out of nowhere again, but yeah, it's just how the order is. We're actually skipping 2 of our fights because Pekla isn't here, but that's fine. We can always come right back. And after this, we'll do Oak against Chessus, so Chessus will be fighting very soon. Unfortunately, as often happens, I'm cursed to not fight right away, but that's fine. In my own events, I mean, that happens. In other people's events, usually that's not the case at all. Glorious needs keyboard, I believe, and Towers. Oh yeah, by the way, Tao, if it's laggy again, we'll just go straight to Plebeian's host. There's no problem. Uh, I just encourage you to give it a try again, because it looks like my connection might be better. There were 2 glorious purposes there. But again, like, let me know. If it's laggy, like, just tell me right away. We'll go straight to Plebeian's host. You're on the left, Tao. Or, sorry, no, Glorious is on the left, Tower's on the right. My bad. Again, Tao, if it's laggy, like, don't be afraid to stop and just ping me. I totally understand. Same thing? Yeah. Okay, let's just go straight to Plebeians then, if that's the case. Yeah. That's weird. I don't know what's going on between Russia and Canada, but Glorious, you can stick around. I don't think keyboard will be a problem. We need Plebeians host again. So for now on, we'll just do your fights and Plebeians host. No, Glorious, you don't have to leave Parsec if you don't want to. Oh, never mind, yeah. No, we're doing Plebeian's host. Never mind, I'm the one who's confused. No, you're good. You're not joining. Join Plebeian's host. Yeah, well, I'm just glad it's not everybody this time. It's just Tao, although it's really unfortunate that it's Tao still, but I'm just glad it's not the ISP provider is what I mean by that, because if that was what it was, then it'd be pretty catastrophic. Plebeian, I'm joining, by the way. Just so you're aware. Not in time, reconnect. Alright, yeah. Should be good now. See what my ping is, just out of curiosity. Yeah, looks good. Glorious will need keyboard, and he'll be on the left, by the way. Sorry about the technical issues, guys. I'm a little bit cursed with those lately, but at least the internet thing is not, I don't think, the main issue this time. Hate being that guy saying it's year end, but I don't think it's actually a matter of it being Tao's end. I think it's something between Canada and Russia is being disrupted for who knows what reason. So, which would explain why Steam is also even worse. Usually Steam is worse. So, anyway, each have a flag. There's a nice thrust from Glorious. Glorious has shown some promise with Zera lately. His style reminds me a bit of Plebeian's, which isn't super surprising because I assume Plebeian has been teaching him some things, but I think he does bring his own moves to the table that Plebeian doesn't typically throw as well. Definitely not just a carbon copy. Very active play there, actually, by Glorious. Good blade clashes as Tao tries to reassess here. Big swing resulting in a double, but that was a good try. Unfortunately, it's a very easy swing to punish, but it's also very difficult to block. You often have to interrupt it or back off first to let Zera whiff. Snap cut there by Tao. High guard. Testing the guard. There's the holy stance. And Tao knows this matchup very well. The sidestep allows him to get out of the way. Yeah, you can see Tao doing a lot of sidewalking, but I gotta give Glorious credit for adjusting to that with his own movement. Zera does not like being sidestepped, but Glorious is doing a great job of just adjusting to what Tao is doing. Not making it easy. There's another sidestep attempt getting out of the way of the stab, but Zera gets blade contact and is still able to block. That sidestep, though, is interrupted by the snap cut. Oh, it's because I have game capture on, yeah. Okay, let me just turn that off entirely. Sorry about that, guys. That's, yeah, I'll just turn this off entirely. I don't know how you enable, like, parsec window capture. I tried it once and it didn't work the way I was hoping, so... But I can just show you the screen and it's fine, so... You'll just see me alt-tab every time I alt-tab. That's the only difference. Anyway, very close fight. Tao is managing to get ahead, though, now. Hoping that his experience will take control. But there's a thrust, interrupting that combo from Tao. Big wind-up. Thanks for letting me know, by the way, Chernobyl. That would have been a shame if the whole fight was missed. Glorious goes for a stab. There's a cut. Tao is behind now again, and there it is, the samurai cut, catching Tao right on the arm. And Glorious, with that sudden burst of aggression, is able to take it. 7-5, that's a very respectable victory there against the veteran player. Alright, Oak against Chesses. We'll switch back to my host. Unless, of course, Oak has similar issues. But we'll see. If Oak is also having the same problem, it probably is indeed. Well, I mean, it's further confirmation it's between Canada and Russia, but who knows? He might be with a different ISP, or there could be a lot of other factors influencing it. Yeah, so Oak usually does well on my host. We'll try it, but again, Oak, if you have that lag that you've talked about before, just let me know. We'll instantly switch. And actually, I know Steam usually works well for Oak if that happens, but still, I think we'll, as a precaution, just use plebeians. If that happens. Alright. Oak on the left, Chesses on the right. And that's Alex versus Laszlo. And is Oak going with the red skin again? I've seen him use the red skin a few times lately. I wonder why. He's always done the gray skin before. Not that I'm complaining, Laszlo's red skin is my favorite, but it's just not Oak's typical style. Nice lunge there, hitting the body, and it looks like Chesses is tired, but Oak is still being cautious. Wants to wait him out. And wait, what? Did Chesses recover? Holy crap. Chesses recovered from his tired state somehow. And got the flag after all of that. I think Oak was a little... Like, I appreciate that he was being cautious, but I think he had to be a bit aggressive. And make sure he gets that kill. Red skin is far superior. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the gray skin red boots would be weird. And a hit to the head there. Chessus is proving to be a menace here if Alex. Oka's gonna need to change something here. Perfect strike to the body. This time it kills. And actually, I said it was a strike to the body earlier, but it's possible that lunge hit the left arm the first time around. The hand, specifically, so it might not have killed because of that for Oak. Yeah, don't jump. Don't jump, Chessus. Bad idea. Ooh, and Oak is starting to take control. This is something he does a lot. He has trouble, but then out of nowhere he starts winning flag after flag. As he adjusts and adapts to the opponent's style. And Oak was trying that wind-up cut from long guard, but he got caught in the middle. Love the close fights we're seeing so far. This will be a very interesting round robin. Goes low there, perfect, as Oak moves away. Oak wasn't able to leg void in time. Both trying to catch each other out here, but that low cut reaches very far, and Chessus needs one more to secure the win against a veteran opponent. Definitely in the conversation for the best player on the server right now. That's how good Oak is, but yeah, upcuts are very good for Alex here. And that's a 7-4, a very respectable victory for Chessus here. GG's, guys. Oak, by the way, you're fighting Tao, so we'll have to switch hosts, actually, so that's good that you left. We'll go to Plebeians. A night of upsets. Yeah, we've had one of these before. No, Oak. We need, we're using Plebeian's host. Just waiting for Plebeian to set up his, Parsec and whatnot, and we'll head over there. No, Oak, you're not connecting to my host, you're connecting to Plebeian's host. As mentioned in the ping there. Yeah, sorry for that confusion. Just double check the names. Yeah, Tau on the left, Oak on the right. And Tau goes Isabella. Very quick selection there. Oh, yeah, that's that new screenshot NVIDIA thing that Plebeian has. All good though. Tau is able to score a flag right off the bat, and I'd say Isabella is actually a very good pick against Laszlo. It's one of Oak's tougher matchups. Stab there, interrupting Oak's attack. Oak clearly wanted to come in for a cut, but he gets beat to the punch there. Snap cut to the arm now from Tau. One of the moves that Isabella has that can actually match Laszlo's speed, and Tau tries to clear some space with that leg cut, but Oak is still able to call him out. Perfect from Oak there, just rushes Tau down. That cut straight to the dome. Big slashes there from Oak. Tau is able to block them, but his defense is being tested as Oak tries to move in and out as usual. And catches him there with that massive cut to the head, reaching very far, so it's very tough for Isabella's auto guard to deal with. The Vineyard is able to land to the head. And actually Oak tried to go with that same cut again, but he's not able to get the double. Bit of an exchange there. And I think that might have been Pekla saying he's good to go, in which case he'll do his fights right away. But we'll see. Somebody activated photo mode. That's not me, because I'm not touching anything, so. Ooh, and Oak's cut didn't land. That was surprising. I thought it would land. A little bit unfortunate. Because it clearly hit the head from what I saw, but the Vineyard there, Oak is still able to get a flag right back. He doesn't let it weigh him down or anything like that. That's just something that can happen in this game. There it is, that loop around cut from long guard, deflecting the stab. And it comes from long guard, so that's why it's so good against thrusts in particular. But it also reaches very far, so it's a good way to hit Isabella through her auto guard. And it's not that she's not guarding it properly, it's that physically it's very difficult to get that blade close to your head to block a blow like that. It's just the nature of Isabella's guard, and as you can see there, if Tau really focuses on defense, his guard does work properly and he does block it, but Oak is just making very good usage of these angles to make it tough. You really don't want Laszlo to be very close to you when he starts going ham with those cuts. And Tau is able to secure a hit, but not a kill. Big slash from Oak just out of measure, and Tau punishes it perfectly. Snap cut there, interrupts Oak. Oak goes for some big cuts. He really wants that kill, but Tau is able to stop him right in his tracks with that high guard cut. A little bit desperate, I'm sure, on Tau's part, but that's what you gotta do sometimes. And there's a cut into thrust there. Tau just turning up the aggression out of nowhere, and that's exactly what he needed to get momentum back on his side. 7-6 victory. Okay, let's see what that ping was. Pico is good. Yeah, awesome. So we'll get you in to do your fights. I don't think you have many, just 2 I think to do. Appreciate the ping. Peklo, you'll be on the left, by the way. Make sure you have keyboard there. Yeah, I'm glad the tourney's going smoothly now. Pekla, again, you're on the left. Yeah. And I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I have no idea who he's going to pick anyway, so yeah. Just go with Barabash and see what happens. He went with Tarnowski though, so that'll be very interesting. Wow. GG. Amazing fight. That is a terrifying Tarnowski. Felt like every flag I had to make some kind of adjustment to win out, and if I failed to do that, then Pekala would just win. So GG. Plebeian, you'll actually be fighting Pekala right away, so let's get to it. Nice, that's awesome, Plebeian. And actually, Pekala, you'll be fighting 3 times, believe it or not, so don't leave. You'll be fighting Glorious right after this. And then I'll be fighting Plebeian, so Plebeian will be fighting back to back pretty much as well. Just that one break in between. Yeah. Nice, Plebeian here. Pekla scored a lot of points on his debut here, so he should be feeling pretty good about that performance, even though it was a loss. That's still almost max points here, so if he can get a win here, that's still a very good position, considering a lot of players obviously didn't score 6 points in their losses, if they have losses, so. As I've said before, points matter a lot here. Goes with Jan. I think that's a good pick, actually, for this matchup. Sorry for the occasional coughing, by the way. I still have gunk in my lungs and stuff. A little bit of congestion, but I'm not that sick or anything. It's just the cough is sticking around. Sometimes happens when I get a cold and the cough is just very stubborn. But the rest of the symptoms usually get better pretty quick. Corkscrew from Pekala, that was perfectly placed, happened out of nowhere. Pekala's yawn is also very tricky, as you can imagine. He's happy to throw these cancels, these side steps, and all sorts of different moves. Snapcut hits Zera's head, but does not connect, and I think Plebeian was block stunned, so still a pretty terrible situation for Plebeian, but that was 100% a hit to the head that unfortunately did not land for Pekala. It really rattled his head, but it did not do damage. And there's a hit from Plebeian. There's a flick from Pekala, and Plebeian also gets a slight hit. Goes with that Logue stance there into a thrust, but doesn't connect. Thrust attempt there. Another thrust. Yeah, and actually Pico is being forced a bit on the defensive as Plebeian keeps claiming space with his bigger sword. But that back Y, underrated for Jan, is able to get a kill for Pekala. Nice interruption. Big cut from Plebeian. Really dominating the guard there if Pekala goes to block it. But Pekala's still able to stay alive, but that thrust to the left arm is able to interrupt his wind-up. Plebeian just goes in, but the cut is not able to secure a kill, and Pekala is able to strike right back. Thrust there to the left arm. No kill. And Pekala with a nice combination, the A and the snap cut. Barabash has that too. Pekala might just make a comeback here. Plebeian hitting the handguard there with that cut. That was a really nice try though. You can see how it rattled the sword there, but it didn't actually hit because of the D guard, the knuckle bow protecting the hand. Still wouldn't feel very nice in real life if you got hit like that. Your fist would still kind of get rattled. Wouldn't really appreciate that. Nice retreat into stab there. Sidestepping the cut there, they actually trade. And there's an upcut from Plebeian. Plebeian looking to secure one more kill to get this win, but Pekla not far behind. Pekla goes low after that big whiff. I see what Plebeian was trying to do, but Pekla just didn't fight. Another intense one. 7-6 for somebody, no matter what, at this point. Another clashing blade here. Pekla not afraid to take some risk there with those cancels and stuff like that to try and catch Plebeian. Plebeian with that stab. But he's patient. Another stab, using his max range here to stay safe here. As Pekla is forced against the wall there. He's been using that longsword to try and claim as much space as possible. None of those blows are able to land, and Pekla somehow sidestepped that just enough to get grazing hits on his body, but not full hits. So actually, Pekla takes it just barely. Unfortunately, that Y thrust in particular doesn't track very well, so sometimes you end up in situations like that. Like I said, Pekla is still fighting. Although that thrust doesn't track well, by the way, it does do a lot of damage, so that's why Plebeian wanted to use it to just end the fight right away. And if the opponent doesn't read it, it can be very difficult to stop. Desperate Y thrust, yeah. Yeah, that was a great comeback. Pekla on the left, Glorious on the right. Yeah, I get it. You wanted to secure the win immediately. Does Glorious not have keyboard? Alright, let's try that again. You can select now. Okay, Pico going with Marta, using a lot of characters today. Pekla is so far making good use of Marta's nimble stabbing ability. And there's another hit. Ooh, I like what Pekla is doing there. He's using a cut to set Glorious up, but then goes for a back A to the hand. And this time secures the kill. And there's a cut, actually, not expected there, as Glorious went for a thrust or long guard. Just getting a little bit of chip damage and then retreats. And if Glorious keeps trying to chase Pekla, then there's a stab incoming. Pekka's good to go. Is Glorious good to go? Yeah, it is a tough matchup, I imagine. Marta doesn't have the accuracy issues that Marie has, so all of these stabs are threatening. And she has a pretty good sidestep game too, which Zara doesn't appreciate. And Pekka's doing a good job of blade beats to test if Glorious tries to go for long guard or something. And another cut is able to actually secure the kill this time. Pekka's combinations are very tough to read no matter what character he plays. Yeah. And even if you do displace it, she can recover very easily. Nice stab from Pekka, looking for a flawless win. Potentially, but we'll see. There's a cut to the arm, and then a stab down low. Perfect combination, but no kill just yet. Stab there from Glorious does not secure the kill. But that was a good try. Ooh, the bull guard there was able to protect Pekka's hand, but this time Glorious gets a kill. It is not a flawless whatever happens, and maybe Glorious will be able to get momentum back and make some kind of comeback, but we'll see. Glorious does have to close in, though. Marta has the clear reach advantage here. But that's not easy. You can see Glorious has been rushing the close in earlier, but it just wasn't paying off. And that's mainly the reason why you get stabbed so easily. Inquartada does not connect there. Good try. Glorious for another hit. Thrust from Pico lands perfectly into sidestep, getting out of the way of that thrust, and that's a double. Good blade beats there, but Marta recovers well from them. Big cuts there from Glorious, and he actually does get a hit in the end, but not the best hit. Neither was Pekka's, though, and Glorious gets another kill. Yeah, Glorious is making some good adjustments, but it's still not an easy fight, as Pekka scores a flag of his own. Thrust aimed at the face is deflected by the back Y, but it is not able to kill. Nice back Y. Thrust to the arm. Nice stab. And Pekka needs one more, maintaining a lead, but it's not that big of a difference if Glorious can get momentum back on his side. But stab through the face there secures it for Pekka. Alright, and now it's Plebeian's turn to fight once more. We're back on the proper schedule. And actually, I'll fight twice, so Glorious Purpose will fight right after this one. We're actually doing very good for time, all things considered. I mean, given that we had some nasty technical issues, I'm pretty happy that it's only been about an hour. And realistically speaking, we can end this in like 1 hour or so from now, so. Okay, just 1 sec, I got pinged about something. Oh no, there's nothing to do with the event. Alright. Let's go. Probably be quiet for this one. Alright, GG. Beautiful Glorious is here. And Glorious, you'll be on the left, I'll be on the right this time. Alright, GG. Okay, Oak against Pekla, and then Tau you'll finally be fighting again against Chessus. And for that we'll be switching shortly, so Plebeian, if you can be ready to go by then, that'd be great. By the way, I think I hinted at it some other day, but I actually went to a bar with my prof and a bunch of students from my class because it was the last day that we had. That was a lot of fun yesterday. Was doing karaoke as well. It was fun. Talking about the various issues going on with our school system and all sorts of other crazy topics as well. And something I discussed, I don't know, I know Venator was jokingly saying, like, I should go to Europe and blah, 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 but it's actually not a bad idea for me right now. I won't do it right away, most likely, but I was thinking, like, if I want to pursue a master's or a PhD in the future, which is definitely something I still want to do, definitely get some money first teaching, but then if I pursue that, I think I will study abroad, so that is actually something I'm considering. Because there's better opportunities for me if I do that than if I were to try and pursue a PhD here. It's actually something my professor suggested too. He said, like, there's no point in doing that here just because the opportunities are limited. Yeah, so Oak on the left, Pekla on the right. As to where in Europe, I was considering the UK, although there's obviously some issues with that place, but for an English speaker like me, that's pretty easy to jump into, and there's a lot of cool historians over there and all the rest of it, so definitely on my radar. Romania might actually be pretty interesting. The Czech Republic, of course, is another one. And Sweden, that's the other place I was thinking of. From a language perspective, Sweden wouldn't be too difficult because most people speak English anyway. And although Swedish is a bit different, it is a Germanic language, so if I had to learn it, I'm sure it would be doable. I'm sure it's not easy, but it should be doable. France is pretty hostile towards English speakers, I'm told, so I wouldn't go there, especially not Paris, but I'd love to visit there, certainly, but I don't think I would want to live there. But yeah, if anyone was interested, I am actually genuinely considering that, even though it sort of came up as a half joke. Yeah, back X, underrated. Oak is picking Pekla apart here, making it look way easier than it actually is. Not saying Oak is having an easy time, mind you, it's just that he's making it look easy. Pekla's Tarnovsky is powerful and very, very tough to predict. But Pekla scores one of his own. Oh yeah, when we were at the bar too, we were discussing the strike because I think I mentioned it a few times on the Discord, but The teachers picked it, literally the moment my practicum is supposed to start to begin striking, so the university still doesn't know what they'll do about that, if anything. Like, there's really not much that can be done at the moment, because we don't know how long this is gonna last, but this might mean I'll be able to host more events in October. I think I was saying, like, October is a no-go, like, I'll not be able to host anything, but that might change. And who knows, the strike could go for weeks on end or more. And there's actually a possibility they'll just let us graduate at that point, if we're lucky. But it could also just shorten the practicum. There's a lot of things that could happen, but they're not just gonna fail us because of stuff out of our control, though, so that's good. They're not gonna take our money and run with it, but yeah, interesting times over here. And actually, as I was speaking there, Pekola's made a bit of a comeback. I gotta give him credit for that. And oh, but Oak is about to win as well if he gets one more flag, and that was a hit from Oak. Pekola does not want to fumble this after making so much progress, but he's got a tough opponent. Cutting the thrust there, trying to make it tricky. Oak is too, but the thrust is not able to connect in time. That cut sweeps across his arm, and amazingly, Pekola takes it. That was not looking good for him, but like I said, very tricky opponent. I think the flags were not telling the whole story, too. Pekola was still making it tough for Oak. Despite how precisely Oak fights, it was still a tough one, as we saw. Uh, who's on strike? So the teachers in my province are. So that means I can't go in to do my practicum because literally my mentor is not going to be at work, and the school will not be running, so... Yeah, good question, Tao, but it's literally, it's not obviously private teachers, they're still working, but anybody who's being paid by the government is on strike across our whole province, so... Oh, and also there's Canada Post as well, that's a fun one. So the biggest company that deals with mail in Canada, they're also gonna be striking, so that's fun. They've been doing that for a while though, so that's not like super surprising, but yeah, fun times over here. Mind you, I do support the teachers. I've said that before as well. It's not that I don't support them, it's just it's a little inconvenient for me. Wait, is Plebeian not available to host? We can use Plebeian's host. Alright, whatever. Let's try it here. It looks like Tao's willing to try. Um, oh no, let's just move the Plebeians. I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, let's just move the Plebeians. Plebeians is here. Yeah, sorry about that, Tao. I just did that robotically. You don't have to join my parsec. Chessus will be left. Tao will be on the right, by the way. And I think Chessus will have to fight again, so... you can still leave Plebeian's host. Just make sure you join mine right away. Parsec... Oh, I think Plebeian's just clicked off. Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's get the name set up. Yeah, that's fine. No harm done. Yeah, Chessus left, Tau right, and then again Chessus after this. Just join my host immediately and we'll continue. Straight to Isabella. Chessus with Alex, no surprise there. Great tournament so far overall. There's been some really intense fights. Tau with the A cut there, going with upcuts, which is smart against Alex. That's one of the moves of Isabella you really want to make use of. But this can be a tough matchup for Isabella. Isabella is more, we were discussing this earlier yesterday. Isabella is probably a bit more well-rounded than Alex, but Alex, I would say, has advantages in multiple categories over her. So I don't think being well-rounded is actually that helpful for Isabella here. Because some of the things that she theoretically does really well, Alex does better. Like finding angles, sidestepping. Even some of Alex's upcuts are really dangerous, as we've discovered. And Alex can target the leg very easily as well. And obviously Alex is lacking a stab. That's really what Isabella wants to use a lot of. But you know, you could say Isabella hits pretty hard. I'm surprised that didn't land. We've seen that a few times, the head getting rattled and nothing happening. But regardless, you could say Isabella hits pretty hard, for instance, but Alex will usually win trades with her regardless, even though her damage can be really good. And it's just, it can kind of add up. But Isabella does have reach, and she does have stabs, as well as pretty good upcuts, so there's definitely a way that she can win, and we've seen it before, but it's not easy. It can be very 50-50, if not in favor of Alex a lot of the time. And there's a grab from Tau. Tau is being very creative here, as you probably should in this matchup. A cut to the head, but that's still a double. Ooh, beats the blade there, but Chessus eventually gets the hit with that barrage of cuts. Wow, I think he did a bunch of X cuts and then did an A cut to the hand. So Tau wasn't able to block them all, but that high guard cut secures the win for Tau. Very well done from Tau, but also a good try from Chessus. Tau knows this matchup very well, so that definitely helped him. Alright, Chessus is already here. Chessus against Pekkala now, so Pekkala, if you could join up. And again, doing excellent for time here. We've got literally just 3 more rounds. So, we're looking very good. Alright, and Pekkala will be on the left. Chessus on the right. Alright, beautiful. Just double checking that our win criteria is working properly. Obviously, the standings at the moment don't really reflect the whole story, just because some people have played 4 fights, some people have played 3, so we'll obviously look at that in detail after the tourney. I was just making sure that it's working properly. So Pekkala decides to go with Marta, which is actually a pretty decent choice here. Although Alex can really mess her up if he closes the distance, I'd say Marta's stab being so accurate can make Alex's life very tough. And Pekka's doing a good job of just doing these short stabs down low to tag Alex. And there's a cut interrupting Alex's thrust. Big slash is sidestepped. But yeah, if you get punched like that by Alex, it's usually over. Especially for Marta. There, Pekka throws some kind of cut, but the rapier's not a very good cutting weapon, so Alex is able to win the trade. I think Pekka was looking to blade beat if a long guard was incoming or something. Stab down low results in a double. Big thrust to the arm, but no kill for Pico. That was a nice try. Blocks low, actually, and there's a stab to the body. And another stab to the body. Manages to escape being hit there this time. That's really what Marta wants to do. She wants to get a stab, but she also wants to make sure she's not taking a hit in the process. Because Alex will win the trade most of the time, or force a double if that happens. Like so. There we go. You just won the trade again. Especially if you're trying to throw cuts. It's not the best idea to trade. And goes low. Nicely done avoiding the stab. And Chessus is getting momentum. Pekka will have to try and stop him in his tracks here. Quick stab to the body. I like that Pekka is doing that. The only danger with that is sometimes it's not killing. So definitely don't want Alex to trade, which has happened a few times, but that's an age-old problem for anybody fighting Alex, though, is you don't want to trade and you want to be sure that your stabs are killing, but that's often not possible. And Chess is doing a great job. There's a double. Although I'll tell you, I'd much rather be Marta there than Alex, because a thrust to the face is just awful. Whereas a cut to the leg, that can still kill you long term or cause a lot of issues long term, even take your leg off, but I'd say the odds are in your favor by comparison that you'll survive, but you're still out of the fight for sure after a cut like that, so it's still not a good place to be hit. Cool name, bro. Appreciate it. Also, welcome, Sir Cappy. As I'm sure Cappy is aware, Subutai is the name of a famous Mongol general who fought under Genghis Khan. Possibly the best general in history, to be honest, but he's definitely up there, and he was one of the 4 dogs of war that Genghis Khan employed. Nice. So Chessus takes it. Let me just double check that score there. So we get it right there, 7-4. All right. Now Oakenlicks will fight me. I'm sure this one will be a banger. Our fights are always really intense, so. Okay, and I get the left side. Oak will be on the right. Let's go. I'm not gonna mess around with Yawn or any weird picks like that. I'm just gonna stick with Bara for this fight. See what happens. geez. GG. I'm lucky that that upcut hit the head there. If that was a body hit, I think Oak would have had it. And I always expect Laszlo to win those sorts of trades, so. Would he approve of HQ? Subutai, I assume you're referring to. I believe he would, actually. Although this time period would be kind of alien to him, but. I feel like it's the sort of thing, like, if he had access to it, he'd probably just play it when he's retiring or something. Because he actually lived a full life, and he ended up retiring after being, one of the biggest badasses to ever live. Okay, Glorious, you have keyboard. Plebeian, you'll be on the left. Glorious on the right. And Plebeian, if you could stick around to fight Oak, that'd be great. It's your turn to run the gauntlet. And as mentioned, Master versus Student here. Plebeian being the Master, as he has more experience of Zera. And he's a veteran at this point. But Glorious has shown some promise with Zera, so I could still see him winning it. He's learned a lot of cool tricks from Plebeian and implemented some of his own. So we'll see what happens. Bit of a trade of attacks there, Plebeian able to win that engagement though. Holy Stance is threatened by Glorious, that stab securing a trade that nobody's killed. Overcommits a bit to that stab, but I see why. He thought there was going to be a hit in that lull, but Zera can be pretty good actually at blocking certain stabs. Ooh, that was quite a recovery actually after that stab, but not able to kill. And that's a double, wow. Glorious getting a one-handed double last minute. Good trade there, and actually Plebeian is able to secure that. They've been trading a lot here, but Plebeian seems to be selecting more threatening moves. But with that said, Glorious out of nowhere with some aggression is able to secure a kill of his own. They both fish for that same stab, but Plebeian is a little bit more precise, it looks like. Sidestep, but there goes the hand. That was a nice try by Glorious, but Plebeian read him like a book. Back wide. Thrust there, sidestep just slightly, I think, actually. I think he moved diagonally, so... Big cut results in a double. Ooh, they both go for a big wind-up attack there. And they both land the same stab. But Plebeian a bit quicker there goes for that wide thrust, while Glorious was a bit slow because he went into Holy Stance first. Bit of an exchange there. The sidesteps are blocked by Plebeian. Big cut there, beats the blade actually, but that stab from Plebeian lands. This could be huge for stamina here as Glorious begins running out of it a bit, and that's a big slash from Plebeian able to secure the kill. 7-2, but very interesting fight. You don't see Zaramirs very often anymore. So, was glad to see one in action. Used to be a very common mirror match actually, but not anymore, as less and less people tend to play him. Awesome. Plebeian is still ready to go. Oak will now be fighting Plebeian. Nice. Tao put up the USFC announcement, so for people who want to join that, make sure you hit that frog meme. That will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you guys. You can see the time on Discord as usual. Okay, Plebeian's going to be on the right this time. Oak on the left. Alright, let's see what Plebeian can do against such a good Laszlo. Testing the guard a little bit, trying to claim space. Forcing Oak against the ropes there, and Oak is not able to get out of there and get a kill. That is one way to defeat Oak, because if you can suffocate him such that his in and out style no longer works, you might be able to catch him out. Good stab to the face there. Single tempo there from Plebeian. Oak is trying to catch him out by moving in and out, but isn't quite able to do it. There's a hit, though, actually, from Oak to the body. The back Y not able to save it. But a good try from Plebeian. That's probably his best bet to get out of there is back Y, so if that didn't work, then that was just Oak's point. Oak is very precise, so if you make a small error, you will most likely pay for it. Yeah, we've seen some aggressive Zera play, actually, from both Glorious and Plebeian at times. I've been really impressed with that. That back Y is not able to trigger in time. Plebeian is looking tired. Is Oak gonna secure it here? He has fumbled a tired... a flag where he had his opponent tired before. This time it's a double at least, but... Plebeian did a good job of trying to fight out of that. Hit to the arm from Oak. That lunge actually does not connect. That stab, though, straight to the face, so that was a bad time for Laszlo. No matter what. And the back Y, perfect bait there by Plebeian, and Plebeian needs two more actually to secure a win against such a good veteran. But Oak says not today. Hit to the head there. Oak is coming back, as he often does. If you're having an easy time against Oak, you gotta stay locked in because suddenly he's gonna make an adjustment, and if you're not prepared for it, you will start losing flags very quickly. Nice from Plebeian going low and then a stab. Yeah, it could be Tao. I see what you're talking about. And a stab to the hand. Plebeian is able to take it by getting a bit more aggressive again and just claiming space with that point. And he was able to stab Oak twice. Very well done. Now I'm fighting Chessus, who will be using Alex, so I gotta be careful here. He's proven to be a very good Alex player. And actually, he's good with a lot of sabers lately. He's becoming a bit of a generalist with the saber. Okay, let me just deal with the names. Chessus, you're on the left. I'm on the right. And again, we're actually doing very good for time once we've figured out the technical problems. We've been moving very efficiently. Yeah, Alex was expected. Let's see what I can do. Oak asked if he could finish his last game earlier. Well, I didn't see that, sorry. We can do it right away after this. Don't jump. No jumpy jumpy. Yeah, no problem. Oh, nice try, GG. He was able to hit the head. Alright, Oak, we'll get straight to your fight once I score this. So be ready. You will be fighting Glorious Purpose. And then after this, we'll get Tao in to fight both of his fights, and then Tao will be all done. As will Pico, actually. This will be Pico's last fight right after this fight with Oak. Alright, let's see if Oak is around. Beautiful. Alright, let's get this over with as quickly as we can so that Oak doesn't have to leave in the middle or something like that. Glorious Purpose will be on the left, Oak on the right. So actually, a lot of our fighters will be done very, very soon, as we effectively only have one more round to go after this, as far as the number of fights. Nice. That long guard cut, able to secure a kill for Oak. Nice. Cut to the head. Yeah, Oak just going ham. You can tell he really wants to finish this as quickly as he can. That's usually how he fights by default, to be fair. He moves in and out quickly and punishes all of your mistakes instantly. But I think there's especially motivation to do that right now. So Glorious is going to have to lock in. That's a bit of a trade there, but I'd say Oak got the better end, and there's a grab. Wow. Excellent counter of that sidestep, which had a big wind-up, so Oak was able to just grab him out of it. He doesn't grab often, and that is Oak's win. Very quick win, as I'm sure he was hoping for. But very good try by Glorious. That's just a really tough opponent. Yeah, Oak was just punishing every little mistake. Sometimes you don't even notice you're making a mistake, and then Oak just comes in and takes your hand off, so... Yeah, no worries, Oak. GG's. I'm glad you were able to show up, and take care. Okay, Pekla is here, just waiting for... Oh, wait, no, we need Plebeian's host. My bad, Tao. If I, yeah, if I... So, Pekla, we're actually going to use Plebeian's host. Again, I'm not even thinking, I'm just posting the links, but yeah, we absolutely need Plebeian if he's available. Thanks for that, Tao. The ping. If not, well, we need Plebeian regardless, actually, because he's gonna be fighting Chessus later, so we gotta wait for him no matter what. Also, I'm glad my connection is... I feel like it was actually unstable when we started the stream, like something funny was happening, but then it... Because I don't know what was up with my stream, but it cut out, but now it's back to normal. Internet is solid, so I'm glad it fixed itself, whatever was going on. Tao obviously still having an issue between Canada and Russia that I'm not sure what it is actually, because Oak was fine, but it is what it is. Sometimes funny stuff like that happens. Tao will be on the left, Pekla will be on the right. And I'll stay on your host, Plebeian, because I'll be fighting Tao right after this. So Tao, don't leave Plebeian's host. We'll get your fights over with and go from there. Go straight to Isabella. Who's Pekla gonna use? Tarnowski, perhaps? No, Jan, perhaps. He's thinking about it. Samuel's a good pick, actually. Okay, nice exchanges between these two. High guard there from Pekla, but cancels it. Another high guard attempt, and then a strike to the face as Tao tries to punish that. Good sidestep from Pekla, getting out of the way of the stab. This can be a very tough matchup for Isabella, because Samuel has some attacks that aim right for her face that she can struggle to block, and Samuel has a better guard in general. Nice, that dash and cut there is actually very deceptive. And Tao was not able to stop it in time. High guard from Pico. You don't see that often from Samuel, but he does have a low guard and a high guard. So, good variety of guard positions as well. Excellent bait with the low guard as Tao tried to punish it, but he was just out of measure. Again with low guard, Pekla preemptively trying to punish Tao if Tao was trying something. And there you go, he queued up a retreat X there and was able to snipe Tao's hand. And Tao is actually in a bit of trouble now. He does not want to lose at this sort of deficit. Oh my goodness, a high guard cancel into a feint, and then he feints the feint, another feint, but Tao calls him out this time. Yeah, Tao needs to find ways to call Pekla out if he wants to come back here. There's another one, back Y. High guard from Pekla is blocked. Tao's looking to punish it by stabbing at the hand there, but doesn't quite manage. Some sidestepping. B cut to the hand does not connect. Good try from Pekla, but Tao is ready. Yeah, Pekla is trying to be really tricky here, but Tao knows he cannot afford to lose another flag, so he is locking in. Thrust attempt. Good exchange, and that cut to the leg. Unfortunately, it takes Isabella away from Samuel, so the range was not there. But that was an excellent try from Tao. It's actually tough to cut towards the leg with a longsword because of biomechanical limitations. Plus, your hands are kind of glued together, so you don't have as much reach to that angle as you think. That's why Isabella reaches so far to cut to the leg. You can cut straight down to the leg, though. That's obviously very possible, but just like that, as Tao did, demonstrated for us. But cutting directly to the leg from other angles is very difficult compared to a one-handed sword. Or, you know, something like a greatsword or a polearm can also cut to the leg very easily. But the longsword is in a weird spot where it doesn't have enough reach. And it's just biomechanically awkward to go that low. You can swing it one-handed and do it that way, though. But Isabella does not have it. The Gaistlin cut. And Tao takes it. Actually managing to make the comeback after Pekla made so much progress. Nicely done. And I gotta say, I love some of the stuff that Pekla was trying. It was working very well at first. Especially the low guard baiting. I think that's an underrated tactic in this game in general, not just with Samuel. And now I'm fighting. I'll be on the left and Tao will be on the right. And then Tao will be all done, as will I. So Tao on the right, if you can... I can't switch sides. Maybe Plebeian can do it manually. Yeah. Beautiful. Then we'll migrate from this host back to mine just to finish the last fight there. A great tournament, by the way, guys. Obviously a little bit small, but that makes for a good round robin, so can't complain about that. I know it's a mode that a lot of people like, so... Oh my goodness, I recovered just in time. Nice try, Tao. That was smart, actually, on Tao's part. I just got very lucky. My stamina was... I had enough stamina to do that. Oh, GG. I thought that was a double. Probably it wasn't because Tao hit my leg and I hit the head, so the leg is much less likely to... It's much less likely to be lethal there. Running away. Obviously talking about Pekla there, but... Anyway. I love that meme, by the way. That's a funny classic right there. Plebeian against Chessos, then we'll end the tournament. Let's see what they can do. This would be a tough one for Plebeian because of the matchup, and also that Chessos is showing some promise with Alex with that calm before the storm approach to his aggression. So that might be pretty tough, actually, for Zera to deal with, because Alex has a clear mobility advantage, so if Alex is just picking his time to engage with you, then Zera will basically never catch him a lot of the time. But we'll see. What Zera does have is he has reach and some really good stabbing options, so there's definitely an answer, but it's not one that's easy to set up. This will be the final fight. Sidestep there, Alex wins the trade. Also took that to the left arm, so that probably helped. That's actually something that makes Alex a bit more tanky than you might expect, is that his left arm is in front of him a little bit. It's not in a bad spot per se, especially if you want to be ready to grab your opponent. It is a good place to keep your arm, but what it does in this game is it enables him to shield himself sometimes, shield his body with that left arm, and so he can take hits sometimes that otherwise might have killed him because the arm is in the way. But he's also pretty tanky to begin with, so that also helps. But that doesn't seem to matter very much when you get cut in the head like that, as the back Y is able to connect. Plebeian making some adjustments already. Good blade beat into a cut to the head. What Zera does have here is reach, and he has to make the best use of that he can. That A cut actually hitting the hand, we've seen that a few times actually. With Alex against Zera. That's a double. Good try though. And the jump. Nice, stab to the head. And instantly there, Chessus moves in and gets a kill of his own. As Plebeian tried to test the waters, it just wasn't enough. That's a double, actually. That's the age-old problem when fighting Alex in this matchup, or any matchup. But at least there was a mutual, so... Plebeian tries to go low, and nice, actually. That managed to bait him in there, so he got the stab. Turned out to be a good idea there. And the Samurai slicing the belly open, then a cut to the head. Beautiful aggression there by Plebeian, right when he needed it. And, yeah, he didn't let Alex walk all over him. I think that was the key. He made sure to use his reach to the fullest extent possible. So 7-4, and we'll end the tournament with that. So obviously I managed to win there. Pekkala got second place though, and Plebeian got third. So congratulations to you two. You both put on a great show there. Especially like I was fighting Pekkala, and his Tarnovsky was very, very tricky to fight against. So I gotta give him ton of credit there. And Plebeian, of course, great Zera as always. But as you can see, we obviously used points as the determining factor here. And Tau is not far behind Plebeian with points. It's literally a 1-point difference between Tau and Plebeian, and even Plebeian and Pekkala. So very close run in that regard. And Oak not far behind Tau at 34. Chess has got 33 points, which is still, I would say, very impressive. A lot of these players did very well. It's literally a handful of points from 6th place to 2nd place. So that tells you how close this section of the tournament was. Glorious Purpose got 7th place, but he still put on some good performances and managed to net a win of his own. So he should obviously walk away from this a winner in that regard too. This is just a really tough tournament, and you got to fight so many times. It's not easy, but still, great job to Glorious as well. And I'll end the tournament there. Appreciate you guys showing up. A smaller tournament, but that makes for the best round robins, and it makes for a really efficient tournament. So it still worked out well in the end, despite the technical issues. So I'll see you guys next time.